I thought I was doing everything right, making sure my house is clean, food on the table, and then I realized I spent so much of my time and energy organizing spaces over and over again. Maybe that's you, and you know that there needs to be a change in this process because you are on the tipping point of being burnt out and the pile just gets higher and higher, or the hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. I have created a decluttering strategy for my own home so that it is cozy and welcoming and gets me out of the trap of clutter so I'm not so overwhelmed. And you might be asking yourself, where do I even start? This video will teach you exactly where you need to start and how to set yourself up for success when creating house cleaning rules and get your clutter under control with this strategy. Okay, you're asking, where do we start? You need to ask yourself why you have so much clutter. Are you just buying things to fill spaces, or does everything serve a purpose and have value? That is super important to address before you just start getting rid of things, because Matthew 6:21 says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." Do you have so much clutter that it seems so overwhelming to even be in the room? Or all the things in the room really your treasure? Would you much rather have your treasure be found elsewhere? These questions are good questions and something to ponder. We could pile up a bunch of things in our home and not really have them matter to us, but I think being good stewards of what we've been given and take care of the things that we've been given and using these things. And it doesn't mean you're going to use this every single day, but at least storing them properly for a time that you are going to use them. And I will continue to go through my home and declutter things that I no longer need or no longer use. And I think it's good to have a strategy in place of when you're going to do that, so that your home, you're stewarding the things God has given you well, and you can do that room by room. So once you have addressed where we start in the heart and we get to change our perspective of how we see clutter and how we see the items in our home, then we can move into how to get rid of all the things that you have piled up. Sometimes it seems so overwhelming and we just need to jump in and get started. So when it comes to the actual process of decluttering, I do have another video that has a checklist available to you, and I will link it in the description box. But what you need to do once you are ready to go to a space is, there are two options for you. It just depends on your personality. For me, I want to start in a small space so I'm not overwhelmed. So that might be just your desk or your small junk drawer or your bathroom sink. You might be someone who wants to start with the biggest mess you got. Maybe it's your garage, and you're going to start there because you know all the other tasks are going to be not as hard as that one. Depending on your personality, just know that you're going to start and finish in that setting. Getting your clutter under control is 100% possible, and yes, clutter control with kids is also possible. It just depends on the systems that you have and the habits that you want to change to get you in the direction that you want your home to be in, and making small consistent actions. So here are some things that you might need to reconsider when it comes to decluttering. Honestly, just get a trash can or trash bag and walk around the room and start filling it. One with trash and get another one for donation, maybe even a third one to put elsewhere. So if you have clothes in your garage that you need to put up, obviously clothes don't go in the garage, they go in your closet. So just having it to go elsewhere. On that note, you need to create systems that just make sense. So if you know that you have a pile of clothes in your garage that are always going to happen because it comes from your car, you need to have a basket there, and also set a timer in your schedule to go through that specific area of cleaning that needs to be addressed. There are certain chores that I very much enjoy doing, and there's also chores that I don't like to use at all. One of the chores I really don't like doing is filing mail that needs to be filed. So I just set it for one day a week, and I have a filing box to hang up of the mail that I get instead of putting it on the counter for it to get lost. I have a specific place that's, I know, a temporary place, so that I don't just have to go and file it right away. because I know I'm just not going to do that. So I'm not going to do that every single day when I get mail. So I'm going to create one pile of it that's in a secure place and then take it to its final destination, if you will. It's organized chaos in that space, but I know it's a space that is temporary and then it goes to its final. Which also, a lot of things you can store digitally, so that can help get rid of decluttering. But as far as like bills or things you need to keep, you can have a temporary solution for that. Obviously, keeping too much is why you have some of these broken systems of, does it serve value and a purpose? But you don't need to hold on to every single thing. I love just being in a nice, clean space. Even when I'm working on a certain project, I don't like even starting to cook dinner until the rest of the kitchen is clean, and then it becomes a mess again, and then I need to clean it all completely before I start making a dessert. It just makes me feel like I need to be in a clean, perfect space before jumping right into the next thing. Your systems also might be breaking because you are overscheduling yourself, so you don't have time to organize the things that you've been given. So maybe slowing down, having a more intentional lifestyle might be beneficial for you when it comes to decluttering and getting your clutter under control. Okay, I'm with y'all on this part of it, not putting things back right after you use them. I'm with those who deal with this, and maybe it's with having children and just jumping around, starting one task and not finishing it. Putting items back right after you use them can really help with the clutter situation. And then lastly, I would say having a time of rest can also help with your decluttering process. So you're going to go through a room, you're going to have those bags ready and your checklist ready, and you're going to go through each space of, does this serve value and a purpose? Can I put this in another space that makes sense for our family? Yes, do all of those things, but also schedule rest in your work week. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom who works around the clock, schedule time, even if your house is not perfect, so you don't get burnt out. I tend to do this a lot, and I'm like, no, I need to schedule my Sabbath because it is so important to, one, just be with God and just be in the presence of the Lord, and just block out those distractions, even if you know you still have a running to-do list. And I feel like it's also super intentional when I am in front of my children, being very present with them, not just thinking about all the other things I need to be doing at the same time, because it is productive just being still. And I think it's okay to just realize that when it comes to getting all your decluttering done and breaking up bad habits that form clutter. So I say that is some of the biggest tips that I have in getting your clutter under control and getting your home in order as best as you can. Take it room by room. I suggest going from your smallest spaces or smallest tasks to the big one, because you've already done these small little accomplishments. It's kind of like a snowball effect. It will just grow and you'll get better at it, and you'll get rid of a lot of things and give yourself a reward at the end. And it doesn't mean you have to spend money to do that, but reward yourself. If there's an empty space, don't feel the need to fill it. I think the goal in all the clutter control is to steward well what God has given you, whether that be with your children, whether it be with the items in your home, and just the time that you've been given. So I pray that this video helps you today, and I pray that you feel encouraged to find the best decluttering strategy for your home and get the clutter under control. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.